Hey y'all, welcome back to Cherry Hill Farm. It seems like just yesterday I was putting up a video about planting the 2020-2021 crop of strawberries. Well, believe it or not, it is time again. I am chisel plowing our strawberry field, and we have really put a lot of effort into trying to keep this field clean. You can see it's bare. I have sprayed it a few times this year with Roundup, Gramoxone, depending on what the weed pressure was, just really trying to keep the weeds held back so that we definitely weren't adding anything to the seed bank, and hopefully trying to get as much stuff to germinate as possible so that we could kill it so that we'd have less weed seed. And we're going to be doing something new to us this year. I took and passed my fumigation license test, and I am not prepared, nor do I have the equipment to start using chlorpicrin or anything like that. What we are going to do is we're going to use a liquid fumigant that is run through the drip irrigation. So the way that works, we're using a chemical called Vapam. You still have to have your fumigation license in order to purchase it, but we inject it into the irrigation system just like you would fertilize or some type of fungicide or insecticide, but it'll be injected right over there at those sand filters and run through the drip line after we get done laying the plastic, which will hopefully happen tomorrow. Probably a separate video, but this afternoon we finally got some rain. Got about 6 weeks worth of rain in a couple of days, but that's all right. We're thankful for it. We got like 4 inches of rain, but it hasn't rained in 2 or 3 days, and 90-degree temperatures, long days in central North Carolina here. With our sandy soil, it doesn't take long for the water to get gone. So we got a golden opportunity, and I'm jumping on it. You can see the soil is working really nice. That's chisel plowing. That's fantastic. Look at that. That's good stuff. I have extended our strawberry field. We're going to add, the last time we had strawberries here was 2019. It was an excellent crop, and that's another reason we're going to start fumigating, is to prevent diseases and nematodes, because we are going to start planting strawberries after strawberries after strawberries in this field. The reason being is, you can see right here, we're on the corner of 2 roads, and the deer do not seem to like that. We had virtually no deer problems when we had berries here. And if you remember last year's video, or you haven't seen last year's video, just go back and watch that, and you can see what a 2 acres of strawberries completely destroyed by deer looks like. But we are going to be increasing the number of berries we're planting this year. Not going too crazy with it. On a crop as expensive as strawberries, I'm of the mind that I should grow in small increments and not just double my number of plants just in 1 year. So we're going to be planting about 21,000 strawberries this year. And the last time we had strawberries in this field, I can't remember if we had 15,000 or 18,000, but you can see here, kind of along this, what used to be a terrace through this, when it was a pasture, there was a terrace through here, and you can see I more or less worked it out, but there's still a hump here. After I finish plowing this, I'm gonna have to go get the box scrape, and I'm gonna move a lot of this soil up the hill. Probably gonna try to drag it as far up as I can, because you see getting into a little bit of red up there and I don't like that. So probably gonna try to drag some of this darker dirt off this terrace up there, because there's a little bit of a swag right here. This has been fescue, because like I say, this was cow pasture, and I came in a couple of weeks ago and, well, I sprayed it with Roundup and let it die, shoot, 6 or 8 weeks ago. And then I came back through and sprayed it with Gramoxone and burned off any weeds that had came back, and also really made everything nice and crispy. And then I came in here with a sprayer, and it really didn't take much fuel, because it was kind of like a haystack. I just started it on fire, walked around with a solo sprayer full of water and kind of controlled it. Of course, it didn't really have anywhere to go. It's not going to burn the green grass. And I burned off the residue. And that, if anytime that's an option, I always go with it, because residue is going to make you pull your hair out if you're trying to lay plastic when you've got a lot of residue. I'm still gonna have some roots to contend with, as you see here. I got some balls of roots rolling up. That's gonna be a little bit aggravating, but nothing like what it would be like if I had half knee-high fescue residue here. So that's the reason I did that. I mean, it's nice to think about all. You could work it into the soil and it'd be good for organic matter. Yep, that would be fantastic. And if I had a tiller and a whole lot of time, we could maybe make something like that work. But the reality is I had to get rid of that residue, because you cannot lay plastic and do a decent job if your field is covered in residue. So that's what's going on there. So our field's going to be about 50 feet longer this year. And that's going to allow us to get, I think, about the same number of blocks for strawberries. For everything else, we lay 8-row blocks of plastic. There'll be 8 rows, then a drive road, 8 rows, then a drive road. For strawberries, I've always used 9-row blocks. We used to use 10 rows because they're on 5-foot centers, and that made the field 50 foot wide. But the problem that we ran into was our row covers were 50 feet wide. When your field's 50 foot and your row covers are 50 foot, it was a nightmare trying to keep them on. So we dropped back to 9 rows, and that gave us just enough tail hanging off both sides with the row covers to keep them on good. So we use 9-row blocks, and that actually works out. We're going to go to overhead sprinkler irrigation for frost protection this year, and the 45 foot wide blocks works out really well for the sprinklers. Also, we'll just kind of tuck them up against that road that runs down the dead center. But yeah, so I'll take you through this process. I'm just going to get all this chiseled and box scrape and move some of this dirt up the hill and try to get this swag out of the field, because that will cause problems with water standing. You can't have anything like that with strawberries especially. And then I'll probably have to chisel this, because I'll have it down to a hard pan, and then we'll disc it, spread fertilize, and disc and possibly chisel again, and we'll be ready to lay plastic finally. So I don't know how good y'all could tell kind of the topography that we had going on here before I did all this scraping, and it's difficult for me because I've not got a lot of experience in grading. It's hard for me to judge loose soil. I mean, I just plowed this, had to, or I wouldn't have been able to scrape it down with a box scrape. But I've made a pretty huge difference in moving dirt from right here on this terrace to the low place right there. That was the biggest thing. I know going in that I'm gonna have a hump in the field. That's just kind of is what it is. I don't have a dirt fan to move that much dirt, so I'm just using what resources I have and doing the best that I can. One thing that you are not gonna overdo is land prep, especially when you're talking about a crop like strawberries that costs $20,000 an acre to grow. Much time and preparation will pay dividends. Essentially, if you screw this up, it just trickles downhill from here. I mean, if I don't get this part right, I end up with places in my field out in the middle where water is standing through the winter. You ain't gonna pick no berries where that water's standing. So it's critical to get your field prepped right before you even fertilize or lay plastic. But I am just about to call it a day and go spend some time with my family. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you next time. Tune in next time. Next video is probably gonna be laying plastic. So everybody seems to really enjoy the plastic mulch laying videos. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when that next video comes out. Appreciate you watching. See you guys.